Hello everybody, good morning or afternoon. Welcome to the Goldbridge Saves Football podcast. It's our Premier League preview and it may well be Erik Ten Hag's last game in charge of Manchester United as they go to Aston Villa. We'll also be talking about the title race. We're going into another international break and Arsenal, I think, could be top of the league come Sunday night. We've got some very interesting topics around who is the best goal scorer in the Premier League. In the Premier League history, I think it's Erling Haaland. I've heard people saying Michael Owen. I've heard people saying Aguero. I've heard people saying Shearer. We'll talk about that. Loads to get involved in. But we will start with you. I've got a lovely top on. I've just looked at myself on the camera. What are your thoughts about this weekend? And specifically, I think a lot of people are going to be asking the question. I don't know why they're asking you. You don't know anything. What is going to happen with Erik Ten Hag?
Yeah, I think we are very much looking forward to Monday's episode already, aren't we? Because it's going to be big and could be nasty. Will
I
Erik
might not be here.
You will be.
No, if they sack him at 10 o'clock, it'll be podcast cancelled.
Sorry.
I've got
Yeah.
to make the views on United stand.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. Yeah, I'll be doing the stream on That's Football about breaking news. Gareth Southgate on his way down to Carrington.
This is the thing. United fans are foolish who are getting excited about sacking the manager when they've got absolutely no idea. It's like being in your garden and you're sunbathing and someone says, do you want to go in the next garden? And you think, oh, there might be a pool in there, might be some other people in there, might have a bar in there. You jump over and it's a garden full of dog poo.
Yeah.
There's no pool. It's horrible. And you're being attacked by a couple of Jack Russells.
Oh, God, nipping at your ankles.
You don't know what's over the fence is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I just find it...
The grass is always greener, as a great philosopher once said.
Yes.
The grass is not always greener.
No, it could be brown and a bit murky and a bit...
Yeah.
But no, last night I just found a bit weird, especially with someone like the players' response. I saw Højlund doing an Instagram, saw Onana.
This is a great point. So Onana did a post last night where he was like, it's like, you know when Schmeichel won the 99 game and there was some pictures of Schmeichel when Solskjaer scores and he's doing little cartwheels and everything like that. So Onana puts a Twitter post out of I think 2 or 3 pictures and he's like, lion, this is what we do or something like that. He's deleted it now. Højlund's done one. I mean, to be fair, Rashford and Casemiro did them, but they weren't as sort of like, this is amazing. Yeah. But it just goes to show, and I don't know what it's like at other clubs, I actually feel sorry for Onana and Rasmus and Rashford and Casemiro and anyone. I mean, look, Garnacho and Xerxes replied to Rasmus as well, so that's just as bad. You know what? I think when they get that late equaliser against Porto, they're probably buzzing in the dressing room. They probably think, what a great result. Get on Instagram, and this is it. This is a prime example of the modern footballer. They don't know the temperature of what fans are feeling because they're probably thinking, oh, Porto are a good side, late equaliser with 10 men, get on social media, everyone's going to go great, and actually they just haven't got a clue. So I sort of feel sorry for them in a way because it's sort of like we assume that footballers know the temperature of how fans are feeling. And
they should do, though, I think.
Well, maybe they should do, but they don't. They live in a bubble, don't they?
No, and I also think it's part of this thing of, like, everything's great. Like, it's not just a football thing. It's, like, an industry thing. Like, you know, I've worked at places where, like, we were handing bottles of champagne out for people doing the job at the end of the week. What have you done? I've done my job, right? Congratulations.
But can you imagine poor old Onana? He's put those pictures
but he's conceded. I'm not saying he made a mistake, but he has conceded 3 goals that game.
I know, but he's put them pictures out. He's thinking, at least another 100,000 followers on Twitter. And they're like, Onana, we've got a problem. Look at the replies. And he's probably like, oh, God.
Yeah, but that, like, you've drawn away at Porto.
You're a good team.
Who are a good team.
It's a hard place to go.
Hard place to go. You got Selhurst Park.
Liverpool, get ready because you're off to Selhurst Park tomorrow. But I'm doing a watch along of that one, and I'll tell you what, it's a tough place to go. Actually, we'll be talking about the toughest place to go in the Premier League, which aren't obviously the obvious ones like Arsenal and City. But back on United, Villa on Sunday.
Well, let's
turnaround.
Yeah, let's ask the first question. When we sit in here Monday, well, we might not be sitting in here. Will we be sitting here Monday morning?
Why? What are we going?
You just said. Well, no, because you said
it's all about like political stuff of like what's going on in the world.
No. Right, we'll stop that there. What I'm saying is because you just said if Erik Ten Hag's gone, you'll be at home doing Man United stuff. So will Erik Ten Hag be in charge Monday morning? Is the question.
I genuinely have a hunch that he won't be.
Really?
But I wouldn't be surprised if he is. The question I would say to everybody, and you will, is like, and I don't know whether I'm one voice singing in the darkness or I'm actually about to say something absolutely spot on, but I said this ahead of the FA Cup final. Why were Ineos so fixed in on that one game?
Yeah.
Like, why did the FA Cup final against Man City dictate Ten Hag's future? A lot of fans had already made their mind up either way. And I'd said, well, I would keep him for third year because it's a new structure. He's had a horrible season with injury. You can't learn anything from Man City. If we win it, it's great. But if we lose, it's Man City. Why are you treating that as it? And because we've drawn with Porto, the week that was Porto and Villa to save his job, well, a draw doesn't do anything, does it?
No.
So now it's Villa. And all the press are talking, if Villa beat him, he loses his job. How can you spend £200 million more in the summer? How can you not have a left back? How can you say this is the project you want 3 months ago, but now you're going to decide about it with Villa? For me, it sounds absolutely preposterous. I completely agree with people like yourself on Monday who said he should be sacked, and I agree with United fans who say he should be sacked, because that's probably based on a weight of experience on, I don't think he's the right guy. But for Ineos to be actually putting it out there, or apparently putting it out there, that their decision will be based on Aston Villa, who are a good side at Villa Park. What if, like, Man United win, but Villa get 2 players sent off and they play shit? Or what if Man United play brilliant but lose because Bruno gets sent off again? You can't. One game that's scary. It scares me about Ineos if one game on Sunday, surely they've made the decision. No, and then if they haven't made the decision, if they have made the decision, what if we win 4-0 on Sunday? Will they change their mind?
No, but let's be honest, the decision has been made, and I think
it's been made.
And I think the Aston Villa game is based on like the severity of the decision. So like if it is like they know it's going to happen, they're probably, I don't know if they have teed the right man up or they're still trying to do it. So I think that's where the Aston Villa performance in the one game comes in. But again, Sunday will just show, if you are still Erik Ten Hag in and think he's the future of the club, like ultimately you could have played your 3 biggest games where Big Ange, regardless of the red card, has done Erik Ten Hag on a coaching performance. Arne Slot, who has come from the same league, obviously different resources, but a different side, has come to Old Trafford, not just won and dominated. And then Unai Emery, as part of an Aston Villa side who are now in this top 4 conversation and has been here less time than Erik Ten Hag. Yeah. Will outcoach him on Sunday.
Yeah.
And like that, if you're still Erik Ten Hag in after that, what's going to happen?
No, but I think you've got to play both sides, haven't you? Because there will be people who are Ten Hag in, and I think obviously what I think a lot of people are concerned about at United, and I'm certainly concerned about, and I'd be interested to know what people's thoughts are, is what you do next. Because if you sack Ten Hag on Monday, there is nobody lined up unless they do go for Tuchel or they do pull off a miracle like a Nagelsmann or whatever. So you go with Ruud. Why? I mean, I like Ruud, but what's he going to do? We've done it before with Ollie. So, I mean, I don't know how the Ruud Van Nistelrooy thing works. If it goes badly, it's a really bad mistake. If it goes well, you're going to give him a contract like you did Ollie. So
but he's got more managerial experience at a higher level than Ollie has.
He's got 1 year at PSV.
Yeah, but let me tell you, I watch every single game in that PSV team.
That's a hard place to manage at PSV. So I don't really understand what the Ruud thing does. Already in the fan base, a lot of people don't want him. It's not like we're going to go unbeaten for the rest of the season. So I can see that. I can see a very similar situation to when Ollie went and Ranić came in. I can just see it being a write-off season again. Then you get another guy in the summer. And then we'll be back again going, well, is Rashford and Bruno part of this project again, or are they not?
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do with all the Ten Hag players? So
you need to get relegated.
I genuinely am quite, I'm sure a lot of people are laughing. I bet they're having their sandwiches on a Friday going, oh, I love this. Goldbridge, he's a broken man. And I'm like, yeah, I am a broken man because I actually have sacked Mourinho in the past, not personally. And I've got
that would be a turn up for the books.
Jose, you're sacked. And I've been optimistic about Ollie. And when Van Gaal got sacked, I was optimistic about Van Gaal. I have got no optimism. Yeah, and let me just be fair. If they keep Ten Hag, I'm not optimistic. If they get rid of him, I'm not optimistic. So basically, I'm not optimistic.
Well, I think that ties into my theory perfectly about where Manchester United are in this situation where I don't think you can win because you're still in the era of, I mean, you look on TV and you look on every podcast, everything's still directed towards Sir Alex Ferguson this, Sir Alex Ferguson that, and that still is in recent times. So there's still those expectations of not just top 4, but, maybe after one good season, you should be title challengers. So these expectations put you in this position where you've got to attract the best manager, but then you haven't got the best squad, but then you haven't got the worst squad, so you're trying to push up the league. So then the manager you appoint, like, ideally, I was saying, you keep Erik Ten Hag, become really shit, and then you attract what Villa have done with like an Emery, who someone push back through the leagues. Because at the moment, I'm like you, I don't see, even if you appointed, like you said, Pep, Like, that's not going to work. You point the bright young manager, the club's too big for them. To be honest, mate, I know you're not feeling very well and you're trying to look positive, but there is actually nothing to be positive about going forward.
I understand that, and probably 50%,
and I'm sorry.
50% of my illness is probably that. But you know what? I also think as well, I mean, I don't want to do this about Liverpool, but I want to big Liverpool up, because when Jurgen Klopp decides to go, that's not an, Ten Hag going is something that's been being discussed for a year. Man United have had a year.
Yeah.
I know Ineos haven't had a year, but Man United have had a year. They had the summer. They've got now.
But Ineos would have been making their plans for a year, wouldn't they? Because they'd have known.
And when Klopp goes, Liverpool don't want Klopp to go. And when Klopp goes, they've gone, we like Alonso.
Yeah.
That can't happen. Oh, we like Amorim at Sporting Lisbon. We can't get him. Oh, Arne Slot looks good. So they've pivoted from, 3 good options to get Arne Slot, and it still worked. Man United, if Ten Hag goes on Monday, they haven't got anybody that's Man United fans are going to go. And there's a lot of United fans who want change, and I understand that. But tell me, I mean, I'm listening to TNT Sports last night. They've got Owen Hargreaves and that Karen Carney, and they're just both going, well, I just can't see any way he survives on Sunday. And I'm like, give me something more. Give me something more, because they haven't got anything more.
But that is true, though.
But the media are so rubbish, because they're stating the bloody obvious. The results aren't good enough. I don't see how he survives. He's lost 3 of his first 6. The football's not great. United's got loads of problems. I can't see him surviving. And I'm like, hold on a minute. You're like the doctor saying your leg looks in a bad way. Can't see it surviving. Looks like it's going to come off. What are you going to do? What's the medication? Are you going to have a go? What's the replacement?
Yeah, but that's not
a Terminator leg. What's going on?
But that's not their job, though.
What, as a pundit, their job is not to say to Man United fans who are worried and we're scared.
They're not a therapist.
We're worried and we're scared, and we've got Karen Carney going, I can't see him surviving on Monday. Well, tell us what the
Karen Carney's not the director of football at Manchester United. She's not there to put an arm around you going, Mark, come down here. You're all right, mate. Like, we've just had exactly the same conversation.
But you can't.
There's no answer.
You can't hype it. Yeah, but even at least we've had a try. She just goes, I can't see him surviving.
I've told the answer for the last year, and you know who it is.
You can't hypothetically sack a manager and then not have a solution, is what I'm trying to say.
No, but I think you can in this situation.
And also, what I think Liverpool did is, they were happily married to Klopp. Fantastic relationship. Yeah. Klopp, in a relationship sense, probably just
Klopp in Liverpool
emigrates or dies, but you don't want him to go.
Yeah.
And then, whilst he's on his way out, you actually start doing a bit of scouting. You start going out with your mates. You go to good bars.
Yeah.
You start having chats with people like Noel needs to do. Right. And then you find a replacement. It ain't Klopp. You're always going to love Klopp, but you're going to move on. Man United, we're like, this relationship looks like it's not working. I think they might be having an affair, right?
Yeah, toxic.
It's toxic. But whilst it's toxic, you're not actually getting yourself on the dating apps. You're just like, oh, you know what? When this is over, Carol, who lives next door, widow, she's about 82. Carol, fancy coming round for a bit of Netflix and chill? United haven't looked at what's out there. And look, if it is Carol, forget it. But at least Liverpool pivoted from 3 options Netflix and got one.
Yeah.
The market is not good, but I don't think the market isn't good. I just think Man United are really bad.
The market's bad. I've literally got the odds up now.
I get the sense that if Real Madrid, God forbid, something happened to Ancelotti, like he broke his leg, and he was like, I can't.
Sorry,
you've killed him, you have. Or Pep Guardiola just decides he's off.
Yeah.
Man City would probably go to Leverkusen and go, there you go, we want Alonso.
Yeah, but they can do that.
Or Nagelsmann. Well, that's the thing. Man United, I think some of our fans are massively naive as to what we're talking about. We're swimming in the sewer. We should be flying in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, we should be grabbing the stars, and we're grabbing the used turds and everything in the sewer, because Tuchel's available. Southgate's available.
You're doing an Andy Dufresne. You're hoping to crawl through shit and come out cleaner the other side.
What we should, if we're going to get rid of Ten Hag,
and you haven't got your plastic bag.
What happened to best in class? If we're going to get rid of Ten Hag, why aren't we knocking on Emery's door? Why aren't we knocking on Nagelsmann's door?
No, but
because we can't. Go with bloody money.
No, and also, but that's what I mean. With the situation you're in, like, Emery wouldn't work.
No, he wouldn't come.
And Nagelsmann, I don't think, would work.
No.
So,
Tuchel said no because he wasn't going to get any control.
Yeah, exactly.
So, people need to wake up to Ineos. They want to run the show and put a puppet in charge.
Yeah.
But people also need to wake up. There's no problem with sacking Erik Ten Hag. But why are we not having the conversation about Man United's recruitment process? Because Ruud van Nistelrooy is an interim. Thomas Tuchel, Go and...
Do you know who
we're
the
Manchester
actual...
United. Go and get Nagelsmann from Germany.
No.
Oh, he's managing Germany. Oh, is he? He's managing Germany, is he? Oh, I didn't realise he was bloody on lockdown.
No, but that's the problem. That phrase there, we're Manchester United.
But
that's got to stop because...
But we haven't got... The real problem is... I feel like bloody what's that one up there? That's all, folks. And that's all, folks. But big clubs go out and get big managers.
Yes.
Man United are looking in the... we're swimming in the fishing pond. We should be swimming in the ocean.
No, you should be in the fishing
for what's
pond.
available.
No,
and people don't get this. The managers we're being linked to are not good managers. They're available managers. And if you can find a good manager that's available, well done, lucky. But Tuchel's available, Southgate's available, Ruud's the assistant coach. Manchester United have been shit for 10 years. They're on a cycle. If Ten Hag goes on Monday, we will fail again because everybody we're looking at has a but next to them. And
Nicky.
I would get Nicky Butt, actually. I think he'd be very good. But I think that what Man United need is to go and get the very best manager they can get, but they can't get him.
No, but this needs to stop because this is the part of the cycle. Every time it comes around, it's like, we're Manchester United, let's get Mourinho in. We're Manchester United, let's get Van Gaal in. It doesn't work, and it hasn't worked every time because the expectation is up here, the squad's here, and then the actual delivery's down here. Like, you need to come down.
What you're saying is we're done.
Yeah, you need to come down to the sewers for a little bit. Fantastic you had all that years of success, but come and have a party in the turds because it's not looking good going forward. And if you embrace that, like, the best thing we said about Ineos coming in was like, clean slate, they come out and go, the next 3 years, we probably ain't going to win anything. We might get a Carabao in there, we might get that. But league-wise, it's going to be bleak. And if you embrace that as a fan, you go on that journey. But if they go out and try and appoint as a Dan or someone like that, like, I just don't, you need to come down. Everyone's expectations need to be lower. And if that needs to be said by Sir Jim or the next manager, it needs to be
He's
done.
available.
But at 5-2, the second favourite, and people go, you wind and mark up, is currently Gareth Southgate.
Mate, if they get Gareth Southgate...
Why though? That's bad from you.
No, I'm not even joking. If they get Gareth Southgate, we're on That's Football. Everybody was there for the England watch-alongs.
Yeah, the final.
You turned on him.
Didn't turn on him.
He's a nepotistic prat. He's favourites FC. His tactics are shit. No. If United think Southgate, then that there ain't no United fan that's on board with that. They're just literally, I'll eat that because it might taste better than this. And but trust me, you're eating shit.
If I hear we're Manchester United, not just from you, but from anyone in that space, from any pundit, and if I just think you're adding to the problem because football isn't guaranteed, success isn't guaranteed. Like, I could go, we're Birmingham City, we shouldn't be in League One. And let's be honest, 7 wins in a row we won't be.
Give the job to Ruud.
Why?
Because he's better than Southgate.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Well, I'm not having Southgate in charge. It's not happening. It won't happen. I'm telling you now. One way or another, it won't happen.
I honestly think it could happen.
Well, if it happens, then the United stand won't have a problem hitting 10 million subscribers because the meltdown on a minute basis. I'll live stream.
Why don't you cover everything but Southgate and I'll cover Southgate?
I will live stream 24 hours a day until they sack him. So there we go. I'll be Southgate.
Well, you said you weren't going to do any content. Now you've just committed to 24 hours a day.
I've changed my mind now. I'm gonna.
Let's speak about the game because I think it's interesting. And look, I know you're sat here because I can see you. But Aston Villa have come back off one of their most monumental wins.
Loved it on Wednesday night.
Yeah,
brilliant European atmosphere. Bayern Munich played their part. Really good footballing side. Villa at home got a bit of criticism for parking the bus, but I think it was exactly the way to play, and a bit of a underdog story in a sense. But no, I thought they were very, very good. They'll play very differently against Man United. They certainly won't park the bus against us. I've got a funny feeling that Villa will win on Sunday. I don't know why. It's a bit niche, I know.
I thought you were going the other way.
I can't see.
But that's the thing, Emery's going to, like he did with Vincent Kompany in the week, he's going to out-coach.
I don't think you know what? I think Emery could have a weekend at Centre Parks and just leave it to the bloody tea lady. I think Villa, with that atmosphere and their organisation, they know their jobs.
Remember
Man United don't.
Remember the lady when we played at Villa Park who was on reception? She was in there like 60s.
She could do that.
But she was a massive fan of the podcast.
Yeah, well, she definitely could do the job.
Exactly.
Though.
She knows what
she'll have learned a lot from this. But no, I think Villa win, and therefore it puts us into this position we've just spoken about on Monday.
Well, let's speak about the players, because one man who's on an absolute tear at the moment, and I only see highlights because I won't be watching any live games of Aston Villa, but Duran.
Yeah.
He's saving football. Roy of the Rovers takes a long shot, smile on his face.
What I liked about that goal as well is that when he takes the shot, he's not looking, so he must have already had a look before the ball comes.
No, he said he didn't look.
So he just hit it.
Yeah, he said he I think I'm
paraphrasing. He got a bit lucky.
Yeah,
then
but they'd been stood. He said, somebody else said that they'd done an hour and a half that morning of Neuer off his line.
Oh,
different
so yeah,
videos.
so he's just hit it.
So it was sort of, but yeah, he said he didn't know if he was off his line, which is even better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because when I finished watching the game, the missus said to me, because she'd watched it in the kitchen and I was doing a live stream, and she said, "Oh, Ollie Watkins will be getting worried." And I said, "But from an Aston Villa point of view, they need two strikers. Last season, everyone was saying if Watkins gets injured, they're in trouble, and now they've got Duran. This season they'll be absolutely fine. But it will be interesting in the summer because that's the challenge of being a big club, because Villa do need two strikers, but there is a bit of a battle now as to who should be starting, and it's a great. I mean, somebody will probably come in with a big offer for one of them, and they'll go for another younger striker again, won't they? But I think
Watkins is late 20s as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Duran might be the guy, and Watkins becomes the guy that's not the guy. I mean, we were talking about him as a £100 million player. I still think he's fantastic. I think he should be starting for England. I think he offers more than Kane because he plays on the last man. But it's a great problem for Villa to have. I mean, you can't play a front two. A lot of people have said, well, should they do that? You can't. But no,
and also, they're in a stage now where they've got a sheer amount of games where there probably will be rotation.
Yeah.
Like if who Villa got at the weekend? Aston Villa have got Man United. That's what we're talking about.
I thought you took the piss. I thought you were saying the piss. Anyway,
what I was going to say is, like, say Villa have got like an Ipswich Town at home, or even though they drew that, I'm not really helping myself there. When they've got someone less good, is a good phrase, they can do the rotation there. I just think there's enough games for those two this season.
Duran to start.
Who would you rather have, Duran or Rasmus Højlund going forward?
Well, it's very topical at the moment, isn't it? Everyone's going to say Duran at the moment. Rasmus scored last night, playing in a team that just
saw about it
on
Instagram.
Been working on my celebration for 6 weeks.
Well, at the moment, to be absolutely honest, and I'm a Man United fan, and I want to back my players, but at the moment, I mean, I'd take Torres over Martinez, I'd take Konza over De Ligt, I'd take Martinez over Onana. I mean, give me a Villa player, give me a Man United player, I'd take over a Villa player full stop at the moment. So honestly, I'd take Duran over Rasmus because, all right, I want you to do well, but the team's just not performing. I don't think they deserve the whole fucking hype or support at the moment. You've got to go out there and prove it. Well, hello, there's a game on Sunday.
Did you see that Villa fan who was doing a combined 11 for Villa Bayern Munich? Oh my god!
Did he put a lot of Villa players in?
Yeah. A lot would be. I think he picked 2 Bayern Munich players.
Very humble. Very humble, the Villa
I think he picked Ezri Konsa over Upamecano.
Talking about strikers, though, I saw this thing this week. I think it was on the Overlap fan debate about Erling Haaland and Michael Owen being a better goal scorer than him. We are here to say football, or we're certainly here to talk about football. And I thought, you know what? I tweeted about it yesterday, but I thought, you know what? Regardless of who said it, it's out there, isn't it? And if you put it out there, then you have a possibility of discussing it. Now, I think Carragher said he didn't agree with the opinion, but Carragher last night quote tweeted me and then deleted it.
Yep.
What do you think happened there?
I think
basically last night De Ligt and Martinez played shit. So on the stream I said, this will be Carragher's wet dream. He'll have the tissues out saying, I told you so. Somebody clipped it, and then Jamie Carragher on Twitter quote tweeted it saying, laugh out loud, 100%, and then deleted it quite quickly. So me and Will were like, well, I messaged Will and I went, I know what's happened there. Gary has gone, don't give him any steam, delete it. And unfortunately, Carragher is ruled by Gary, so he's had to delete it, I think.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, someone's definitely had a word.
Sad world, isn't it?
Maybe Sky.
Sad world. Really.
I really like Jamie Carragher.
I like Carragher.
So
I call him out, but it's not personal.
I think you and Carragher could have a very good discussion about life.
No, we couldn't, because Gary would go, you're not talking to him. You're not talking to him. I pay your wages. You're not talking to him. It's the Gary level overlap. It's not the Jamie Carragher overlap.
Right.
It's nothing without me.
Speaking of the overlap, obviously that comment was from the overlap.
Yeah.
So it was Michael Owen. Rory said Michael Owen is a better finisher than Erling Haaland.
Well, I like Rory, but he's always had a problem with Erling Haaland. He called Erling Haaland a flop before he even came.
He said it was disrespectful to the establishment.
He's got a problem with Chelsea at the moment, which is the team he supports. He's in trouble with Chelsea fans. And I think now he's trying to salvage his Haaland thing. I'll tell Rory and I'll tell anybody, I was old enough to watch Michael Owen. I remember 98 vividly. Michael Owen, to me, as a goal scorer, was very, very good, but I never saw him as naturally smooth as a finisher. There was something, it was quite an brilliant finisher, but it was a bit unorthodox. He was he never looked completely balanced to me. Whereas Erling Haaland, and look, who's the better goal scorer? Well, look at the bloody goals. But in fairness, Kevin Phillips at Sunderland wouldn't get the service that Michael Owen got at Liverpool or Haaland gets at Man City. So you've got to look at chance creation, etc. Erling Haaland, to me, I'd struggle to find a striker in the Premier League history that is a better finisher than him. And Erling Haaland was a smoother finisher than Michael Owen. Every day of the week, I'd have that fight with anybody.
Well, let's have another fight.
In a verbal sense.
Yes, yeah. We're not about physical confrontation here. Erling Haaland, then, is a better finisher than Michael Owen.
Yeah,
but is he a better finisher than Alan Shearer?
Yes. In the penalty box, yes. I mean, Alan Shearer always had it in his locker outside. I mean, that's a great point by me. Erling Haaland in the box is the best. He's better than Shearer. Outside the box, Haaland's not that good, is he? Shearer. Michael Owen wasn't that good outside the box either, but Shearer was a more rounded striker.
Shearer had a thunder bastard in his locker,
yeah,
but I don't know if Erling Haaland's allowed to have a thunder bastard in his locker.
I think Alan Shearer is probably the most complete Premier League striker I've ever seen.
Is Erling Haaland a better finisher than Harry Kane?
Yes.
I think that's a lot more closer than you're making out.
It probably is, but I think the
you
answer
don't like
to the
Harry
question
Kane.
is... No, I do like Harry Kane. He's world class. But
Since you went to Skechers,
Erling Haaland is not just a goal scorer at Man City. He was a goal scorer at Molde and Salzburg and Dortmund and the Norwegian national team.
Well, Harry Kane's been a goal scorer at Spurs and Bayern Munich.
And he would score...
And England.
He would score a lot of goals at Man City, but he wouldn't... I
think that's a lot more equal.
You know what I look at? You know when people say he plays for Man City, so he scored loads of goals? If you put Harry Kane at Man City, he would not have broken the records that Haaland had.
Interesting.
Yes, he plays for Man City and he gets a lot of opportunities, but a lot of people thought he wouldn't work at Man City in their tiki-taka system, and he's smashed records out of the bloody park.
Last two from me. Is Haaland a better goal scorer than Wayne Rooney?
Yeah, as a goal scorer. But again, Wayne Rooney,
great player,
scored better goals and would score from outside the box.
And finally, is Erling Haaland a better goal scorer than Sergio Aguero?
See, now that technically, I quite liked Aguero's finishing prowess. You know, he was a clean striker.
And he had an out of the era.
Yeah, but also, Thierry Henry was probably a cleaner finisher, technique-wise. But what we're talking about here, better goal scorer or better technique? Because I think Aguero and...
Goal scorer, the question was goal scorer.
Goal scorer, it's Haaland. But I agree, Aguero and Henry's technical finishing, the way they would probably put it right in the bottom corner, or that, you know, the way they finish...
You're saying Haaland's better than Henry as well?
As a penalty box striker, yeah, goal scorer, yeah.
Lovely stuff. Get that clip now.
I think he actually is the best Premier League. And look, I'm not one of those that likes, the now of like, oh, this is better than the past, because I think the Premier League gets forgotten from, you know, probably 10 years ago.
Right,
before.
I mean, like we have a laugh, don't we? Like we go through our podcast titles, like it changes week on week.
But I genuinely think Erling Haaland is something from the now that is better than anything we've ever had when it comes to goal scoring. He is an absolute
Especially
robot.
This season, some of the finishes have been absolutely sublime.
He nearly had 3 hat-tricks in a row.
Yeah.
You can say you play for Man City, but why didn't Aguero have 3 hat-tricks
It'd be
in
like
a row?
Mo Salah. We won't know what we've had till it's gone.
You won't know what you got till it's gone. That's my new song coming out for Christmas.
Bit of paradise.
Enjoy your Christmas tree, because in January, you won't know what you got till it's gone.
Nice, yeah.
Oh, I think me and Miley Cyrus could do a bit of that.
Yeah, she wouldn't go anywhere near you.
Yeah.
Xantha says, would Haaland start for Villa, Mark? He gets the podcast. He gets the clips.
Haaland would be perfect for Villa.
Well,
playing on the last man. Duran, Watkins, Haaland, last man strikers, don't need to drop in. I'm stunned up Meccano didn't get sent off, you know.
I know, but I think for the first one, Watkins knows what it's that tangly leg thing that strikers do, which they know they're doing. But also, it's very easy to give a yellow.
On to the wider Premier League, the title race. We've mentioned Haaland there. Liverpool go to Palace at lunchtime. Hard place to go, Selhurst Park. Arsenal play Southampton at home. Man City play Fulham at home, and let's throw Chelsea in there on Sunday.
Well, they could go top.
They're home to Forest as well. Villa probably... Well, they drew to Ipswich, didn't they? Which doesn't probably help them that much. But they'll be up there if they beat Man United, which we've predicted. I genuinely think that there's a very good... I did think Arsenal will be top for the international break because they haven't got the same goal difference as City, but I think they'll outscore Southampton compared to Man City's Fulham. But that would mean Liverpool dropping points at Palace. We've got an interesting stat here.
Yeah.
Liverpool have won 8 of their last 9 games at Selhurst Park. So I would imagine they're going to win their next one.
Yeah, I think... do you know what the perfect thing is for this game for Arne Slot going into a Crystal Palace game, which is notoriously a tough place to go, is that Nottingham Forest defeat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we said a couple of weeks ago, getting that off your chest so early on almost readies them and almost steadies them going into this game. So I don't see any issues with that. And like Crystal Palace have not won a game. They've drawn 3 and they've lost 3.
They've not been very good, Palace. I mean, Man United's best performance was Palace away, where we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and that sort of worries me a little bit. That Man United absolutely...
You thought that was the redemption arc when they played them?
Yeah, because I thought Palace were a good side, and as you were saying before the podcast, that Palace manager could be in a bit of bother because that team's not bad.
Well, Frank de Boer got 7 games.
Elise,
this is his 7th game.
I mean,
it's the same.
They've only lost Elise and Anderson, haven't they? Really?
I feel like there's the one. Yeah, I mean, I thought they were in a real
players in.
They were in a real position of strength. But you say they lose Anderson. It's like losing Anderson to Fulham, which when you look at it from an outside perspective, and correct me if I'm wrong, Crystal Palace fans, you'd say they're on a par, if not Crystal Palace, the way last season ended. They'd be looking to kick on. So I don't know.
I think I did think Palace might get something out of it, and that's why I was going to say Arsenal will be top of the league on Sunday night. But I think knowing those stats and looking at the way Liverpool are playing at the moment, they probably will go to Palace like they did go to Wolves and just get another impressive 3 points.
Yeah, Crystal Palace have lost 11 of their last 14 meetings with Liverpool, though the sole victory was their last such at Anfield in April.
Tell you what, there's some good games coming up after the international break. I think Liverpool play Chelsea first game back. That's going to be really interesting because I said on Monday, didn't I? I think if Liverpool played Man City at the moment, they would beat them.
Yes.
And I want to start. I know we've only had 6 games, but it'd be nice after the international break to start seeing. I think we see Arsenal, Chelsea as well. I think Man City, Liverpool's not far away. Arsenal, Liverpool's not far away.
One in November, have we?
Arsenal, Liverpool's not far away as well.
No, sorry, we got another international break in November.
Yeah. But I think because Chelsea have done so well, Villa have done well again, Liverpool are doing well, Man City, Arsenal, I think we need to start to see those teams. Obviously, we saw Man City, Arsenal, but it was ruined. But it'd be nice to see just where Chelsea are comparable to Liverpool and where Liverpool are comparable to Arsenal. I'm looking forward to those games. But I think by the sounds of it, they're all going to win. Liverpool will win at Palace. Obviously, Arsenal will beat Southampton. I don't think Southampton have beat Arsenal since 1987 at Arsenal.
What was the result when they were near the end of when they nearly won the Premier League the season before the last? That was Southampton. Was that a draw? Was it a draw in the end?
Yeah.
Oh, they were 2-0 down, weren't they? After...
Yeah. Man City against Fulham. Fulham have played really well, but I don't see it. And then I can't see Chelsea not beating Forest on Sunday.
Sorry, my computer went down. I thought we were kicked off the live stream.
What team did Chelsea beat on? What the chat will probably tell us. What team did Chelsea put out?
Well, no, we were literally speaking about this in the office this morning. I think when the squad came out, I tweeted about why are they doing Cole Palmer wasn't in it, was he?
Well, they played that guy Dewsbury Hall, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, I think
that even played for him.
Yeah, exactly. I think they've done it really well because they know the level of competition. They know how many games they're going to do. They've got a fresh team going into the weekend. So everything we've labelled against Maresca to start the season with, he's absolutely batting away, isn't he?
I think the only thing with Chelsea and Maresca is whether he's going to end up being this season's Ange, in the sense that brilliant start, lots of respect. You won't lose that respect across the season, but is it going to taper off?
He's got a better squad.
He's got a much better squad. I mean, Spurs fell off because of injury, didn't they? Maddison and a few others. So he's not going to have that problem.
One of the ones I wanted to talk about is just a side point. Southampton obviously at Arsenal, but I sat down to watch the South Coast Derby on Monday. And
you must have been really bored.
I was. Well, I wanted to see the Graham Potter stuff, and someone got in touch who made a great point, and I'll shout your name out at the end, basically saying about, is Russell Martin's philosophy and the way that he's trying to play and keep playing not only damaging on the pitch but damaging for smaller clubs going forward? Because he called it the Vincent Kompany effect of these managers having to play a certain way, and they know they're not going to stay there, but it's more attractive to those big clubs. It's like they're going, hey, Bayern Munich, come and have a look at these. And it's like, oh, Liverpool. And like, but really, for those clubs that they're in charge of, there's no way Southampton stay up playing like this, is there?
Well, I look at the relegation zone, and I think Southampton are definitely going to lose. I think Ipswich have got... Who've Ipswich got this weekend?
Ipswich are away at West Ham United.
So that's a tough one. And then Leicester home to Bournemouth, tough one. This is the trouble. I've said this from day one. Ipswich, Southampton and Leicester will go down because I can't see...
Did we have a bet?
I can't see where they're going to get the points from. I really just don't know where they're going to get the points from. But... Troy Deeney made a really good point. I was listening to it on the radio on the way over. He said, when we got promoted, and I presume he means Watford, we decided to play 2 up front, hit the long ball into me, try and rough people up. And the whole point was just to try and... we knew we couldn't go toe-to-toe, so let's try and find a way to stay up and then get better each year. And he said, everyone comes up now and they try and play the same way as everybody else. And I think it feeds into what you're saying there because, you know, as a manager... you're almost putting yourself in the shop window, aren't you? Even if you look, if Vince and company can be stubborn and get Burnley relegated and end up with the Bayern Munich job, then if you're Russell Martin or Kieran McKenna, you play good football, but you go, oh, well done, you played, you went down, but at least you've shown everybody what you're like as a coach, and then it's like, oh, you've got the Everton job, or you've got like that, and I think. I've said this for a while. I don't agree with teams coming up into the Premier League and trying to play this.
Southampton
ball.
Southampton squad's honking.
What team in the Premier League offers something a little bit dirty?
Yeah, well, that's what you need. Like, if you're coming up, like Sean Dyche is the last of the bastards. Do you know what I mean?
And it worked really well for Burnley for a long time.
Well, it worked well for Burnley. I think back to that. Was it the last season they had the Merseyside derby on a Wednesday night, and he was balls into the channel, outworked them, outpaced them. It win the second ball. If you're coming up, I think you've got to be. There's got to be a bastard that comes up next year because you're just going to get played off the park.
The gap's getting too big.
I don't think the gap's getting too big. I think people are so stubborn in these philosophies and the way that they're trying to play. Like, just be more pragmatic. It's not hard.
I think there will be a club that comes up from the Championship that stays up. But you know what? Honestly, I don't want to blow smoke up your arse, but I think if Wrexham or Birmingham get anywhere near the Premier League, you know they're going to come in and spend money to stay. And I think one of the problems that the newly promoted teams is that they almost they have this amazing season where they get promoted and they're like, oh my God, we're in the Premier League. But then they're in the Premier League and they're like, what do we do? Like, what do we do? Yeah. How do we stay in the Premier League? Whereas I think there will be a team that comes up from the Championship that's like, no, we want to be in the Premier League and this is the plan to be in it, because I don't think anybody comes up with much of a plan to strategize staying in the league.
Yeah, well, they have their plan. They don't have a plan B or plan C. Like, they're just so focused on looking at that.
And I also heard today that Southampton, with Russell Martin, are happy to stay with him. They're not looking to change him yet. That's 6 bloody games. He was getting relegated the day he got promoted. What do you mean yet? What do you think you're going to do? Get Matt Letizia in and he's going to do a few tweets and you're going to stay up? Like, there's nobody going into Southampton that's keeping them up. Like, if you want to keep Southampton up, your only chance is January. Get yourself a John Hartson and Paul Kitson, West Ham style from the 90s. Balls into the box, 20 goals between them in the last 4 months of the season, you're staying up. No,
the only chance they've got is court cases. Another one for Everton, another one for Man City.
Yeah, well, last year, there was court cases and still the same teams went down.
Yeah, I just find it a bit weirder with Southampton and Leicester because they are essentially Premier League clubs that had a year out in the Championship. So, like, the resource and everything's still there, where, like, Ipswich is just brand new to it.
I think people need to stop blaming managers and thinking that the manager is going to change. I mean, Sheffield United did it.
Yeah, but with this, you should blame the manager.
No, but Sheffield United changed their manager to a guy like, was it Chris Wheeler? No chance. You can look at a squad Wilder. Yeah. You can look at the Chris Wheeler's a Daily Mail journalist. Yeah. He's got no chance. He's got no chance. Lovely guy, but he ain't got no chance.
No, but you think when Sheffield United first came up, they were doing something different, but were still quite pragmatic, and that
remember when Sheffield United used to have that style of football where their fullbacks were like,
there was a third centre back going forward, wasn't it? But they were trying something
new. Brilliant that first year.
They bamboozled everyone,
and then everyone figured it out.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think I don't think changing the manager of Leicester, Ipswich, or Southampton keeps them up. And yet, I guarantee you, one of their chairmen will sack one of those managers. If I was the chairman of that, I'd be like, can I find a striker somewhere in the world for £20 million that's going to come into this team in January and score me 10 goals? And that's what I always look at. And that's why Brentford have stayed up, because that's why they did stay up in their early years, is because they had a striker that can score them goals.
Yeah, but I'd say Thomas Frank is a pragmatic manager.
Yeah.
And he gets the results when it's needed.
LFC Gamer says Brentford are doing surprisingly well without Tony.
Yeah, that they are. Should we have a look at the... we spoke about Arsenal, haven't we? We spoke about Liverpool. Oh, that was it. What is the toughest place to go in the Premier League?
We've got a few super chats to...
Yeah, let me go through them. Sorry. Elliot Wallace says, United is bad for my health. If you look at the stress graph on my Whoop app, you can see the exact moment United game starts and the goal and the game ends. I think you're on that.
I'm going to look at that. Yeah, you keep carry on and I'll find mine.
Peter Bissett says Haaland would never punch Keith Gillespie on a night out in Dublin. Robert McCormack says Shearer just didn't miss. Close one with Haaland. Xanther, we said about would Haaland start for Villa. Ray Carl Brown Armory says, I said for years United need to stick to a plan and ride it out, but we don't do that. So the next man lining up has the same problem. Rubiata, sorry if I've pronounced that wrong, says fix United, keep Erik Ten Hag, clear out Rashford, Bruno, Casemiro, Eriksson, Shaw, get proper replacements and build the team. This project is dead in my opinion. Ray says, spot on with what Will said. Thanks for that. And Salman says, has Goldbridge changed since his first show? Has Goldbridge changed since his first showed that jacket? All I see him wear is that.
It's the second time I've worn it.
Here's a $4.99 super chat to go to Primark.
I've worn this twice. Not bad.
Mark is in an abusive relationship with... Nelly says Mark is in an abusive relationship with Walker.
I'm looking at my stress monitor on Whoop for the last 24 hours, and Man United played at 8 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
And to be... What? Okay. Looking at my Whoop monitor for the stress monitor last night, and to be fair... I peaked out at about 2.7.
What does that mean for the uninitiated?
Well, 3 is high stress.
3's go to the hospital.
So 9:52 last night was my peak. Well, the game was over by then. To be fair, it's pretty low. My highest stress yesterday.
Huh? Was it Maguire? Wasn't it like late? No, that could have been the late goal.
Could have been the late goal. But my highest stress point yesterday was 2, 2.9. What was I doing at 2:10?
You live? Career mode?
2 yesterday.
On the phone to someone?
I don't know what I was
doing. Did you speak to him at 2 yesterday? Oh, I didn't speak to you yesterday at 2.
I didn't do the 2 o'clock show either.
Maybe it was when I sent you that
I might have been,
message about that guy's podcast.
I might have been on a certain website.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know what that was all about.
Dylan Smith says Norwich is making that plan right now. But yeah, Norwich, a bit too yo-yo for me. I know they've got a new guy in charge.
Very elevated resting heart rate.
All right, but we've gone about that too long now.
Skin temperature elevated. I'm not well.
Yeah, I know you're not well.
Not well.
I can see that in your face.
The most difficult places to go.
We're going to
leave out. What we're going to leave out?
We're going to leave out Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool just because of their performance. So, get involved in the chat? What is the toughest place to go in the Premier League?
I've got two candidates.
Go
on. Aston Villa and Newcastle.
Nice. Very
Would you
good.
go anything else?
No.
I used to think Goodison Park was really hard to go.
Goodison Park has got that potential of an evening as well.
It's not been for a long time. I mean, well, you mentioned that Liverpool game last year, but Goodison Park used to be a really tough place to go, and I loved it when United played there because if you got 3 points there, you knew you'd really earned it. But I think Newcastle now, we saw it at the weekend with City. I think since Eddie Howe's come in and the Saudis have come in, that Newcastle, St James's Park. I mean, they've always had a great atmosphere, but I wouldn't say it was intimidating. But it's really difficult to get stuff there. And Villa have become. I mean, Villa could have beat Arsenal this year.
Yeah, no, I think those two other shouts coming in from the chat. Charlie says Molyneux. Yeah, real tough this year. Bournemouth till I die. I mean, Bournemouth could get in. Not as and this is on field because the atmosphere is about intimidating.
Somebody said Ellen Road. Yeah, you're in the Championship.
Yeah, Edinburgh, St Andrews. We were there Tuesday night. That'd be a tough place to go when we get back to the Premier League. Stamford Bridge for me would be very low down the list. Brighton, that was more for on-field stuff.
United used to struggle at Stamford Bridge, but I don't think it's... I mean, they've dropped a lot of points over the last 2 years.
I think at the moment, with performance on the pitch, fans and atmosphere, it would have to be Newcastle for me, St James's Park.
Mike says, is Old Trafford written off because of you've written? No. Old Trafford could have been there because we're only writing off Arsenal, Liverpool and City because
Old Trafford could have been there, but
it's not intimidating.
No.
I think people enjoy it. It's liberating.
Yeah. It's like we're coming to this big ground, but we could actually win. Should we have a look at the rest of the Premier League results? Fixtures. Brentford have got Wolves. You've been backing Wolves. You've been having a go at me about Wolves. If Brentford beat Wolves, surely you have to look me in the eyes and go, Will, you're right about a lot of things, and you're right about this.
It's a hard place to go, Griffin Park. It's not called Griffin Park, is it? No, Brentford's a hard place to go. Put some respect on Brentford. They've had a good start to the season. That's a hard place to go. I reckon that'll be a draw.
Okay, I think that'd be a positive result for Wolves.
I think it would,
but if they lose...
They're on the way back, though, Wolves.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope they are. I don't.
Chuck them a bone, come on.
Why?
Bone of hope.
Fuck them. Leicester versus Bournemouth. Now, this is one. If I need to... we had a bet.
Leicester have got to win this.
Yeah.
If they don't win this...
Leicester used to be a tough place to go.
Did it?
They won the league.
Yeah, 1 year. I wouldn't say it was. To be honest, when that fixture list came out, I never went. When are we playing?
No,
Leicester?
not now.
When are we? No, even then, I wouldn't go. When have we played Leicester?
Well, they danced all over you.
They did. I think we got beat by them, and that was when Vardy scored. That was the game where he had to do it, wasn't it?
No, that one, and then you remember the one the year before when Di Maria scored that nice goal, and then Cambiasso scored a winner.
We should have won that.
But you didn't because it's a tough place to go.
Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. By the way, Fulham's a tough place to go to, says Lewis. It's a nice place to go to. The Amax is an absolute cauldron.
I have to apologise to you as well. So I was going through the comments on Spotify. Also, if you are listening, from Monday we're starting our new feature where on Spotify we'll be doing 15-minute extra that's a bit, like Hollyoaks After Dark when it gets a little bit sexy, but it'll be audio. So we'll have our tops off and chat about racy stuff. So make sure you're following us on Spotify. But I was looking through the comments on there and people were like, Will, you're actually in the wrong. Mark has been saying Fulham is Premier League team for a long time. And I'm putting my hands up.
Yeah. Well, you should listen then.
I am listening.
Pisses me off. I have been saying it for ages.
West Ham United versus Ipswich this weekend. Now, West Ham.
I fancy Ipswich to get something, Point.
Yeah, I was messaging a West Ham fan. They were like, there's just no identity with Lopetegui going forward.
He might get sacked.
But I think they've bought him in, haven't they? They've invested in him, so I think that's where he's got a bit of shelter going forward.
They bought a lot of good players. I don't understand why it's going wrong. I genuinely think getting rid of Ward-Prowse was a mistake.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Everton versus Newcastle United. Newcastle away.
It's at Goodison Park.
Yeah. Branthwaite back. Dyche 2 unbeaten. 4 points. Is he back?
I think if Everton are going to get a result there, they'll have to scam it like they did against Palace, like 2 shots on goal. But again, I reckon that might be a draw.
Newcastle win. What's the golden rule?
Newcastle are good enough to beat Everton, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to go draw.
Villa Man United. We didn't actually get a prediction from you.
Villa.
Yeah, well said. Chelsea Forest. Forest been doing well.
Chelsea.
And Brighton Spurs.
I think the way Spurs have been playing at the moment, I mean, it'd be a shame for Spurs if they go to Brighton. If they go to Brighton and lose, it's sort of like, what you're doing again, you're sort of yo-yoing, aren't you?
I think Brighton Spurs, everyone will just get there and go, oh, you play football really well. Oh, no, you play football really well. Oh, you're pressing really well. Or you do. I
guarantee in that game there will be at least 1 goal scored from somebody fucking up playing out from the back.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. That needs to be the new. Like people bet on yellow cards and stuff. You should be able to bet, will a goal be conceded from playing out from the back?
Over 5.5 goals conceded.
100% that's going to happen. But I think Spurs will win that because I think Brighton had a bit of a overrated start because they got that point at Emirates, but they played against 10 men, beat us, but we messed it up.
Drew with Ipswich.
But they've drawn with Ipswich and Forest at
home.
They've
not won in the last 4, drawn 3, lost 1, I think.
They seem to play at home a lot, Brighton.
Yeah, there was in the contract they can only play at home going forward, so... Quite interesting.
I
we should
Spurs
talk about that more.
I think Spurs need to win that, and I think Spurs will win that.
Brennan Johnson, 1-0.
No Monday Night Football because it's the international break.
Yes, but there is football further down the pyramid and some huge games going on. Tonight, if you're interested, if you are a proper football fan, get Sky Sports on because it's Sunderland versus Leeds. What are you smirking
at? Laughing at this comment.
What's it say, babe? About me drinking water?
No. I'm going to read it.
Go on.
Because you know what? Sometimes I think people are being sarcastic, and I think this person actually means it. So... I feel like I need to give them their moment because they're very angry. So Vassi says, Goldbridge, you are not saving football. Instead, you are killing it. If you have been very nasty towards Erik Ten Hag, saying that he wants the money. If that was true, he wouldn't have just extended his old contract.
People out themselves, don't they?
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Big game tonight, says Robert McCormack.
I'm literally sat here going, big game tonight, previewing it. You've got your head in your arse.
Tonight?
I literally just said 30 seconds ago. Sunderland versus Leeds. You weren't listening. What's the point of doing this podcast? That's a massive game, top of the table ramifications.
I've given up on the EFL.
Yeah, well, I've given up on this podcast.
I've given up on FPL.
Yeah.
I've given up on PSR, FFP, and now I'm giving up on EFL.
Coventry versus Sheffield Wednesday. You giving up on them?
Coventry might be able to get me a win there, but Charlton have lost 3 of the last 4 and they're playing you.
Yeah. 20 million down the drain.
They'll get
Jay
beat.
Stansfield or Alfie Mays.
Birmingham are too good for that league.
Yeah, because
it's a waste of time.
Because we've made it that way. Notts County versus Port Vale, Barrow versus Cheltenham, and it's not looking good for the Moors. They go away to Oldham Athletic.
Are they any good, Oldham?
I think so. They were good. They were in the Premier League.
I don't know what's gone wrong with Moors. This happened last time when we got to the playoff final and we struggled the next year. It's a bit of a hangover, I think. It's a long season, and when you don't get promoted,
it's weird that they just play there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably should do more together. Elliot Wallace says United have had the best away supporters, often louder than home fans. On another point, our away fans wouldn't hate on you for celebrating an equaliser. Very good point.
Got hated on for celebrating an equaliser.
Yeah, I like
That's a football point.
That's utter woke nonsense. That did you like that idea or not?
Yeah, I don't get the world. I don't get it.
So you need to go for the feature. You need to go utter woke nonsense.
But I really don't. This happened last season. We beat Brentford at Old Trafford, and Brentford were winning 1-0 going into stoppage time, and McTominay scored 2 goals, and we won 2-1. Yeah. And I was like, that's why we love football. And the chat were going embarrassing, but they were United fans. And then last night we draw with 10 men against Porto, and you know what I think it is? Ulterior motive. I think because people are thinking about the manager.
They actually wanted to lose. Yeah.
I don't know whether it's want them to lose, but I don't think they can celebrate the win. Whereas for me, I find it very easy. I don't care who the owner is or who scores the goal. Like Rashford scored yesterday, and people were coming onto the stream going, he sat you down. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Man United scoring, not really interested. But the Rashford thing's ridiculous anyway. I actually just want him to score and play well. I just think the noise around him is just ridiculous. But I think with regards to celebrating that goal last night, I mean, you're telling me if Liverpool equalise against Palace tomorrow in the last minute and they play shit, Liverpool fans won't celebrate, or will they go embarrassing? Fuck your point.
Yeah, well, I mean, you still get the screenshots of Jurgen Klopp bringing them over to the Cop End, don't you? When they drew with West Brom 2-2.
I think it's always contextual as well.
Yeah,
exactly. What if Arsenal play rubbish tomorrow? Southampton score a penalty. Their goalkeeper's absolutely amazing, and then the last kick of the game, Saka scores.
Yeah.
Oh, not embarrassing. We've dropped points at home. It's weird.
I've got an utter woke nonsense for this week. We went to the Blues.
Well, this comes from South. Did Deitch actually say? Or
no, he didn't say it. It's just the meme that's going around.
Right.
So yeah, it's not political. It's just about some stuff that goes into football. I was like, I really fancy a bottle of water and a Mars bar just before we go down. And they got there, no chocolate. I was like, I'll just have a bottle of water then. She comes over. It's £3 anyway, which is ridiculous.
Where are you?
At Blues.
Yeah.
And it's only one of them bottles of water. She's poured the bottle of water out into a plastic beaker. I could have just got tap water. £3 for. I actually just couldn't believe it.
You sound like I saw that AJ fight, Dubois. People were like putting pictures up of it was at Wembley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they were paying like I don't even want to guess. How much do you think you'd pay for a pint?
I don't know. Yeah,
15
£9. Well, probably yeah.
But it was like in a plastic cup.
Probably,
plastic cup with a load of froth. And
and they were like scooping it up.
It was like £15 for that. But you pay for it because it's you can't.
Yeah. Well, what was the round? £6 for a Guinness, but that was at a pub outside. That's standard price now, isn't it?
I was having the chat on the watch along the other day though about because the Arsenal game was on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off because
what?
Well, because it's a streaming service. I'm about 30 seconds behind everybody in America.
Right.
Whereas if it's on Sky or TNT, because it's coming through cable or satellite, you're never behind. And I'm like, I'm paying for this as well. Yeah. Paying for Sky, I'm paying for TNT, I'm paying for fucking Amazon Prime. It's just absolutely incredible how much we have to pay for football, and then you can't get it all in one place. I just think the day they get rid of the 3 p.m. blackout and allow you to buy a virtual season ticket will be I mean, I can't believe in 2024 it's utter woke nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. So get your utter woke nonsenses in to us. And then also Monday we'll be doing the extra stuff. So get your questions in on Spotify now if you're listening or want to go across there. And we'll read the best ones out Monday to finish the show.
Spotify account name is Goldbridge Saves Football.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get yourself onto Spotify, Goldbridge Saves Football. You can listen to all our episodes back there if you're walking around.
Click the follow button, click the bell and rate us 5 stars because it helps us out. Basically, we want to get up the charts because I like him. This isn't a point of contention. But Lineker dominates the charts. At the moment, the charts is ex-football players. Yeah. And you offer a fantastic alternative. We think this football...
We offer community.
No, that's what I'm saying. And the podcast and everyone here offers a great alternative. And we've heard some stuff about the charts this week that we sort of knew, but it's been confirmed. So we really want to have a go at that and attack the system.
Yeah, we're back on Monday. What will be happening
Will
on
you
Monday?
be back? Who will be back on Monday? Will you be back? Will Erik be back?
Yeah.
What will be back?
This is it.
Will that top be back? Are you going to get changed, you filthy sod?
Second time I've worn it. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely stinks. No, looking forward to it. A feast of football at this weekend. And, of course, the big derby between me and you at 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Thanks, everyone, for listening.
And we'll speak tomorrow. Watch-alongs, Crystal Palace, Liverpool,
and
the 3 o'clock games tomorrow on That's Football. Take care, everyone. Bye.